Since November 8th, 2016, since 0 hour, when Donald Trump was the clear winner of the 2016 general election, the Democratic Party, the big foundations, the offshore banks, the shadow government, the deep state, the rogue intelligence agencies, all lined up against Trump and the American people, saying, we're not going to let you have your referendum against globalism. Same thing happened in Brexit. A few months after the Brits passed that last year, the EU came back and said, we're not going to let your vote count now. It was illegitimate. We think the Russians were involved. Same thing with Merkel. She just lost a bunch of seats in parliament for her party. She says the Russians did it. That's right. They're now saying that the Catalonians, who've been trying to pull out of Spain for 100 years, that they passed their election last year to begin pulling out of Spain because of, you guessed it, the Russians. And they're now saying the vote 3 weeks ago in Italy to begin to pull out of the European Union and not let the EU get rid of their sovereignty. That was the Russians too. See the theme here? It's a foreign, outside, multinational, corporate takeover of nation states. The Russians have kicked out the very same oligarchs in the last 16, 17 years. That's the only solidarity there is with Russia, is the fact that they've been in the same boat as us. They're fighting basically the same enemy. And it is the globalists that are the outsiders. But when you have this Democratic Congressman Lewis coming out and it being plastered all over the news, his interview from CNN, and CNN building it up like it's a big deal. Let's go to this clip where he says he's not going to support Trump. Isn't this amazing? All the major Democrats haven't been supporting him. They try to get the electors to flip. They tried to steal the nomination from him. They had recounts. All it did was blow up in their face. So when I say that Donald Trump has to get on the offensive, it is not my opinion. It is fact. They're either trying to cause some type of global destabilization and some national emergency so that Obama has the political cover, because there's riots going on nationwide and burning cities, to be able to say, okay, we're suspending the election results for now, but don't worry, we're going to have a new election overseen by Homeland Security. Oh, and magically, a few weeks ago, I decided to do that outside of congressional authority. You see, it's all part of these unprecedented power grabs. Now, even if they don't go with that, and I think they may not, because it just nobody's buying the Russia did it propaganda, they're clearly setting the stage, though, to delegitimize Trump and to move forward with impeachment once he gets in office. And he admits all of this. What's crazy for me is they're in the New York Times, they're in the Washington Post saying start impeachment now. They're in there saying cancel this election. They got everybody from Michael Moore to Rosie O'Donnell saying basically let's have martial law. Well, she did say martial law, civil emergencies, national emergencies. They've got CNN talking about it. I was told months ago by insiders at CNN that they're drilling for a national emergency and preparing their broadcast. I mean, this is an incredible time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen, because positive things are happening, but evil doesn't want us to have this win. And so what I'm pointing out here is history is passing before our eyes right now. We're 6 days from D-Day. We are 6 days from the inauguration. And if we can get him into office, then if he actually starts prosecuting Hillary for actually getting money from the Communist Chinese and the Saudi Arabians through her foundation, but also openly to her campaign, if he actually goes after the corruption, then that'll put them on the defense, and we can move forward and try to fix the country, cut the taxes, the regulations, and make America great again. If we don't, he's always going to be on his heels. You know, they keep telling Trump, just admit the Russians did it, just admit the Russians did it. And even some of his staff want him to do it. And the minute he starts to say, okay, maybe it's the Russians, they go, see, it is the Russians, and you're their damn agent, and it's over for you, when there's no evidence of it. Their stupid report was about RT TV shows saying bad things about Hillary and boo-hoo-hoo, when the entire media in the United States and all this foreign media and the Pope and the Communist Chinese and everybody else were piling on, and Spanish TV from Latin America inside the U.S. saying vote against Trump, and the whole thing backfired. So now they're claiming because of the Russians, we have to suspend the election. They're really trying this. They're boycotting the inauguration. A bunch of Democratic House and Senate members have announced it, and they're all going to build this week, you watch, with new hoaxes, new lies, new rape allegations, new pedophilia allegations, just like they had 3 women claiming they were raped by Trump when they were kids, and then their names were fake, and they dropped the whole thing as soon as he won. you're going to see all hell break loose exponentially the next 5-6 days and right through his inauguration. But if he can get in, then we're in a better position if he goes on the offense. But even before that, before he gets in and is still president-elect, I understand he wants to have the high road, try to get jobs back, bring back Chrysler, bring back Ford, bring back Carrier, bring back steel mills, get $50 billion in Japanese investment in 1 year. I understand he's doing all that. And $1 trillion plus in the stock market. And trying to cut corporate taxes to bring jobs back. I understand he's trying to get the country resuscitated. The problem is that they're not going to back off, and they're selling the narrative that he's a Russian agent, and we're all Russian agents, and the Liberty Movement's Russian, and that George Washington was Russian. He was a Russian agent. You didn't hear that? He chopped down the cherry tree under Putin's orders. He has to counter that now with the truth and just say, what a hoax. You people are the ones that were behind all this. You're the ones that get all the foreign money. Podesta's brother's the one getting 30-something million from Putin. Hillary had secret meetings with Putin. He needs to just get up there at a press conference and lay it all out and say, you people are crazy. You've got fake PP dossiers out there. You're putting out all this disinformation, and you're only doubling down, never backing down. You're insane. Because here's the deal, they're not going to stop. He must get on the offense, change the narrative away from the fact that he's supposedly a Russian agent, and we're all Russian agents. And Paul Revere was a Russian agent. You didn't know that? Hell, if you own guns, that's because you're a Russian agent. If you support cutting taxes and making America great again, you're a Russian agent. That's all these globalists have got, is saying we're the outsiders, we're the bad guys, because they're the outsiders. They're totally weak if he will just go after them, because China and Saudi Arabia particularly bragged that they were controlling our election and giving money to Hillary, and were so brazen because they thought they'd control the Justice Department because Hillary would win, that they were committing all these crimes. Now they lost. And that's why they're going after Trump, because they're scared he'll go after them. That's why they're like cornered rats. That's why they're so dangerous. And that's why I put a message out earlier to President-elect Trump, but this one's even stronger, saying you must ignore anybody in your entourage that's telling you to stand down and act nice. That is going to destroy us. These people are criminals we're fighting. They're backstabbing trash. They're never going to back down. They're never going to quit. The American people are behind you. We're sick of these traitors. You need to come out through your surrogates and yourself and destroy them, and with the truth. And our listeners need to get this video and all the articles we've republished to InfoWars showing all the foreign collusion, I mean, look at Obama and the Office of Personnel Management, 14 to 20 million names, code names, backgrounds, social security numbers, CIA, FBI, NSA, who their foreign assets are, total roll-up of our entire system. That wasn't just on one computer for the Chinese to get. It was given to them. We were sold out. By the way, it's a lie saying intelligence agencies are against Trump. They're full of different people. But when you hear them say, oh, the community, the intelligence community's mad at Trump, like it's a gay rights group or a surf club or something, it's some cat club. It's not a community like they're America and we're not. It's made up of different, diverse people. And quite frankly, I've been critical of the intelligence agencies because they've been above the law to a certain extent. But they've been the MVPs in the last 2 years with the leaks, not the damn Russians exposing this whole thing. So I say to those MVPs, don't let the globalists speak for you. Leak more information and expose the treason against this republic, because this can be our brightest hour or one of our darkest hours right now. Again, I want to be clear. We have predicted everything that's now transpiring, because we've watched how their game plan has been unfolding, and they're slowly selling the public. First, we don't want to overturn the election. We just want to investigate. We don't want to overturn the electors. We just want to investigate. We just want to talk to them. Meanwhile, they're behind the scenes saying, overturn the election. Then it comes out they were trying. So they always use deception. And there's hundreds of points that go into this, but I said just a few weeks ago, watch, the week before the election, they'll have members of Congress come out after the hearings and say, I just think that, this isn't legitimate because of the Russians and we needed to do something. And then more would join the chorus. Oh, I know, I agree. Because they don't want to give Trump time to organize. And then the civil unrest starts. And then the president has the cover he needs, President Obama, the lame duck, who's been acting like he's not leaving office. All these preparations, basically putting his people in place, busting the borders open, putting Homeland Security over the elections. I mean, this is insane stuff. And then that gives him the cover to say, okay, we're suspending these results. I mean, it's a bold move, it's a crazy move, but it's clearly what they're preparing, and now they're openly promoting it and saying it. And that's why we're in such a crisis. And that's why not just Trump has to get on the offense, all of us have to speak out, call C-SPAN, call Congress, write letters to the paper, get really aggressive right now about this and say, look, we're not buying it. We know who really influenced the election. It was the foreign-owned MSM. It was the Communist Chinese. It was the Saudi Arabians and others. So that's the bottom line. They're moving to delegitimize. They're moving to start impeachment. They're moving. You must go on the offense. They're having a general stand down that's over the riot police at the inauguration. I mean, this is just insane. We don't want to sound radical countering them, but they're doing radical things. So extremism and defense of liberty is no vice. Go at them, both barrels. All American citizens need to go to D.C. and be part of this and stand up peacefully for freedom against all these Soros thugs. I'll be there. My crew's going to be there. And, of course, we'll be covering it all on the radio, Infowars.com/show. They're trying to censor us everywhere, but spread that link. The audience is exploding. And, again, that's indicative of we're rising. They're falling. They're old. They're corrupt. They're going out the door. The freedom is returning like a breath of fresh air. But the enemy is struggling in its death throes, and now is the critical time to be more involved than ever. Alex Jones with Infowars.com.
Talk show host is Alex Jones. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
Radio talk show host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
Deeply, I think, racist.
I just got called racist by MSNBC.
I don't want that man to have a gun.
1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
The Alex Jones Show. Watch the free stream live at Infowars.com/show.